Edwin Encarnacion used to play for the Blue Jays. He commented on Fernando Tatis Jr. I believe this was today from Hector Gomez. Said, the MLB sank him. I'm sure that if the same thing that happened to Tatis Jr. had happened to another player, that, Major League Baseball would have handled it differently. It's incredible what they did to the face of baseball. And it's like, this makes no sense. Like, one, I know I'm being really nitpicky here, if that makes sense, but saying the MLB sank him, one, that makes no sense. It's not the MLB, it's MLB. Sorry, that's just one of my pet peeves. It's like anyone that says the MLB, it's like, it's hard for me to take what you're saying, like, to heart and like, think that you know what you're talking about. And obviously, Edwin doesn't know what he's talking about here, saying that I'm sure that if the same thing happened to Tatis Jr., or if that happened to another player, that, Major League Baseball would have handled it differently. No, they would have done the exact same thing, because it's the same rule for every player in Major League Baseball. It doesn't matter who you are. It could be Starling Marte, same suspension. It could be Ramon Laureano. Those names aren't the same as Fernando Tatis Jr. Robinson Cano, sure, it's a big name, but he's outside of his prime, same suspension, and he's done it twice. It doesn't matter who you are, what player you are, it's the same suspension. Just Joe Bob over here gets suspended for it. We're not going to make a big deal out of it. Reporters aren't going to make this huge deal about it. Why? Because it's not Fernando Tatis Jr. Major League Baseball has no role in the coverage of this Fernando Tatis Jr. suspension. Guess who had a role in it? Tatis, because of how big of a star he was, and he's the one that did this. It's on him. It's not on Major League Baseball, right? Do you think Major League Baseball wanted to go through that whole steroid stuff and any steroid stuff that they've had to go through in their history? No. They don't have control over it. They made the rules. If you violate it and you get caught, that's going to be your suspension. It just is. I don't know what else to tell David Ortiz here and Edwin Encarnacion. It's saying that it's incredible what they did to the face of baseball. Major League Baseball didn't do anything to Fernando Tatis Jr., the face of baseball. They didn't do anything to him. He did it to himself. He's the one that led the Padres today to change his bobblehead giveaway on September 7th to what I think is a really good giveaway, by the way. I prefer the Petco thing not to be right on the front there, but I know it's a giveaway, it's sponsored, whatever. But maybe have it on the sleeve, but they have it right in front, according to the picture. But they changed the bobblehead, which was supposed to be for Fernando, to a Juan Soto jersey. Guess what? The real leader on this, one of the real leaders on this team. Tatis isn't that. I've said that for days now, ever since the Tatis suspension. If you think he's a leader on this team, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. And then Fernando Tatis Sr., he said this yesterday. I think this was on that TV show, whatever it was called, in Spanish. This has been a terrible situation for baseball and for Tatis Jr.'s name. This is part of the envy and the hypocrisy that is around Jr., even within some of his teammates. And then he went on and continued. What? You're saying, okay, one, it's been a terrible situation for the Tatis Jr. name. Why has it been a terrible situation? Because your son decided to do it. If he wouldn't have done this, Tatis Sr., Edwin, Ortiz, they all act like Major League Baseball, or not Major League Baseball, because they didn't do anything. They're just enforcing the rules. But they're acting like these reporters and Padres fans and fans around baseball, they're acting like we're all out to get Fernando. We're looking for things to criticize him about. No, it's just out there right in front of us, right in front of the whole world. I'm sorry, 10 minutes before a Padre game, when this guy's supposed to be rehabbing, we find out that he's out for the year because of a dumb decision he made, which seems like happened in March. A.J. Preller finds out at the same time pretty much that we do a little bit. We found out on Twitter earlier that afternoon on Friday that Tatis left his AA team in Frisco, didn't tell anyone, booked a flight to San Diego, was seen at the San Diego airport, and that's kind of where we were like, okay, something's up here. Why is he in San Diego? And then it was found out probably by the Padres. Well, it was found out by Preller. Tatis didn't call him directly. Someone close to Tatis called him and to inform him of the news. Like, all of this stuff, it's so, like, shady. And the people, the former players that are talking about this, the Tatis stuff, specifically Ortiz, Edwin Encarnacion, Fernando Tatis Jr., like, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, they try to say they know what they're talking about, but they don't. Like, if you knew what you were talking about, you wouldn't say Major League Baseball needs to be better and treat Fernando Tatis better, and this is the face of baseball that they're doing this to. They don't have control over it. Tatis is one of the biggest names in the sport. The sport was trying to make him the face of baseball. It's not the sport's fault that he decided to do this.